Hey, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Von Russell, Alan Danziger, also known as Chainsaw Jerry. Hello and welcome to the show.
Glad to be on. Glad to be on. Toby's movie was ostensibly about this couple and the house that they were living in, which was like haunted in some respects. And so, because they were doing volunteer work with me, he asked if they could shoot a scene at my house. And at the time, I was married, so my wife is in it. My son, who's 8 months old, is in it. I think there's a parrot that's in it, and they liked how I guess I came across, and they kept adding scenes for me to be in. And the movie came out, and nobody saw that movie, and about 3 or 4 years later, I got a call, and they asked if I would play this character Jerry. In I think the working title was Head Cheese or Leatherface or something like that, and and so I said, yeah, I do it. They gave me the script. I went home and read it, and I just was. It just took me over. I mean, it was just something where you couldn't put it down, and so I said I would do it, and I guess the rest, as they say, is history.
History, absolutely. So, did you have any idea that the movie was going to be so popular? It really took off.
Absolutely not. In fact, as I've mentioned, he brought me in to watch some of the rushes, and and after I saw some of the daily rushes, he said, "Alan, what do you think I could do to improve the movie?" And I said, "Well, have the seats facing away from the screen." And he didn't like that, and so he never called me back. But that tells you how much I knew, because the movie is now. It's considered a perfect movie, as Quentin Tarantino said, and even Guillermo del Toro, says it's an excellent movie, and Steven Spielberg, Oliver Stone, all have talked to Daniel Pearl as to how he did some of the shots that he did in that movie. So there you have it.
Love it. So, you guys, anybody who has never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I just took this off IMDb. Five friends head out to rural Texas to visit the grave of a grandfather. On the way, they stumble across what appears to be a deserted house, only to discover something sinister within, something armed with a chainsaw. You guys, the film stars Marilyn Burns, Alan Danziger, Paul A. Partain, William Vale, John Dugan, Jim Sido, I'm not sure.
See down.
Cito, Edwin Neal, and Gunnar Hansen plays Leatherface, who's actually been on our show before in the past. And I think it was a great. I think it was a great movie when it came out. I was super young when it came out, so I probably didn't see it till I was older, because I would have only been 10 when it came out. And but I think we've had almost everybody who's played Leatherface on the show. We've also had Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Bill Johnson, Bill Mosley, R.A. Mihailoff. We've had all the different people come in through it, and so you did the film, and then you kind of like didn't act anymore for a long time, and for like 50 years, and you actually had a career.
That was it.
I mean, a career that wasn't in acting.
No, I mean, after that movie, I went from the nadir, or the apex, to the nadir, where I was an extra in Willie Nelson's movie Honeysuckle Rose, and then actually after Chainsaw, I did a vignette with Eagle Pinnell, who was doing a movie that became, I think, Last Night at the Alamo, or The Whole Shooting Match, and he was a brilliant guy. Unfortunately, he had some alcohol problems, and he died way too soon. But I shot a couple of scenes with him, and then left to do an S training in Colorado. I don't know why, but when I came back, he decided to go a different direction, and that became, I believe, The Whole Shooting Match, or it could have been The Last Night at the Alamo. Both excellent movies. But anyway, yeah, I didn't do anything, because my background was in social work. I wasn't an actor. In fact, at the Kentucky, where when I was in Lexington at Spawn of Scarefest, I actually introduced myself to James Janice, who did the best funny review of me, where he called me this 30-year-old disco stew looking dude from Chainsaw. So it was a kick, and we did a clip that hopefully will go viral soon. But anyway, that's the whole story. So what's so amazing, that after 50 years, this movie has just grown in popularity. We were honored at the Museum of Modern Art, at Beyond Fest, and it's unbelievable because, like I say, we're really a vanishing breed. Gunner's gone, Marilyn is gone, Jim Seedow, a lot of folks are gone.
You're one of the last original members still alive, right?
Yeah, there's only about four of us. We're the last of the
You and John
Mohegans.
Dugan. John Dugan.
Yeah, John's around, and John was 20 when he played Grandpa. Now he doesn't need the makeup. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing. But at the Spawn of Scarefest, this fella, a makeup guy by the name of Joe Castro, made him up again. And so it was a happening there. It was a happening.
I love it. So what do you first of all, I read someplace online that the conditions were terrible in filming it. It was in Texas and it was hot as hell.
Yeah, they would be on. They would be on terrible. I mean, you're driving in a van with Toby and the sound guy, and Toby smoking a cigar. The windows are up. I mean, it was brutal. And then in the house, there was no air conditioning to shade everything, and plus you had rotting bones by then. You had
Yeah, it
rotting
must have
meat,
smelled terrible.
and then Gunner's costume, which they didn't have a replacement, so he wore that, for 2 weeks. So as I've said, all the Febreze couldn't get the stench out of what was going on,
That's
in that house. It was something else. It was something else.
So I have because you were also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, or at least in a flashback, right?
Yeah, and as I've said, I got more money for not being in the movie than I got for being in the movie, because they showed clips, and so I got paid more for that.
So I wrote down, but since it was a flashback, it may not be totally like work. I wrote, what is it like working with your fellow original cast members nearly 40 years after the '74 classic, and working on a modern 3D version of the franchise? Because it was written by Adam Marcus, which I'm working with right now on a film. And
Well, yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, they just used clips, so no, I didn't. Although John Dugan actually is flying down to Austin next month, which will be my 84th birthday, and we're going to shoot a scene for Ray Spivey's new movie called Soul Hoarder. And I've already done a scene, but he's writing a special scene for the two of us, to kind of bring us back together. So I'm excited about that.
I don't know, I love it. So there's 9 Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. Have you seen all of them? Did you watch them, or did you not watch them?
I've seen a couple. I mean, I liked the one with Jessica Biel. I kind of liked the 3D movie for some of it, and even the one that what's his name did, David, the guy that did the Netflix, David Allen Blue, or David something Blue, David Garcia Blue, or David Blue Garcia. That's it, David Blue Garcia. And that was shot in Bulgaria, of all places. And the Leatherface that played that, a fellow by the name of Mark Burnham, actually flew down to Austin a few years ago, when at Pecan Street that we set up a table, and was like a little bit of a reunion.
Yeah, I actually, I've met him. Well, I've met almost lots of people from the cast of it, or we've had them on the show, so it's been a lot of fun. Okay, hold on. Let me just move through here really quick. So, I was also going to say, so after 50 years, being away from acting, what surprised you the most about becoming more famous now in your 80s than you were in your 30s?
I mean, it's a kick. I mean, I'm a geezer now, so the fact that people want to, come and, speak with me, I mean, it makes me feel great. And after the con was over on this past Monday, I actually saw a new movie. The working title is Rocky Wake, with a young director by the name of Dylan Anglin. And they were just so wonderful to work with, and so appreciative. And after we shot the scene, almost got like a standing ovation. Well, they were all standing, but an ovation's an ovation. And then I took pictures with everybody. So I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out.
Because I noticed too on your IMDb, you have several other films that you've done just recently in the last couple of years. One of them's called Storage Locker. One of them's called Cannibal Comedian, which I think you narrated.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, in fact, I did the beginning narration, and Ed Neal did the ending. And the reason that came about, because I met a really terrific fellow who's an actor and a writer by the name of Mark Cirilli, and actually he's writing my autobiography as we're coming to Dakota on that. And I think that's going to be a great read because we've got some interviews with people that fans of Chainsaw will love to hear some stuff that I don't even know. I didn't even know about, and some dialogue from Marilyn Burns, who taped some hours of tape about her experience with Chainsaw, and some of that'll be in the new book, which is, I think the title is Chainsaw Jerry, or How a Kid from the Bronx Ended Up in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I got a lot of things, on the horizon, and my dream is to be really the Colonel Sanders of horror, and the fans may make that dream come true for me.
Oh no, I think it's going to happen. So you guys, you can go to chainsawjerry.com for his website. He even has a new bobblehead that you can order off of his website for on
And
there. And he also has Chainsaw Jerry's beef jerky, and his slogan is "a cut above the rest."
no, no, no. On the blade it says, "We were the meat."
Oh, okay. I took that. I don't know. See, I took that from someplace too, and I
Yeah,
got it
no, no, I
wrong.
had that, but I think that the "We were the meat" is even better.
No, it actually is better. So I also I was just doing research on you and the movie in general, and they say that the line that you say, "That's the last goddamn hitchhiker I ever picked up," that was totally like ad lib. That wasn't actually part of the script, and you did it, and they kept it.
That and the one where I said, "Hey guys, quit goofing on me." That's that's become like a meme. And somebody just told me that there's my shirt. That's the story. Ron Bozeman, who was the production manager on Chainsaw, borrowed my shirt for a long shot that I wasn't in, and unfortunately, he never gave me that shirt back. And I kind of hated him for about 50 years, but I've let it go. But that shirt was my favorite shirt, and I got that here in Austin at an Indian boutique. But a super fan by the name of David Munoz found similar fabric, and he sent it to me, and I've made a shirt. So now when I go to some of these cons, I'll wear the shirt. And the other neat thing is, I have the same model van that I drove in the movie, sitting in my driveway. And I was scrolling through a website, a chainsaw website a few years ago, and I was scrolling and I see this van on blocks with a phone number on it, and a fan said that looks just like the chainsaw van. So I called the number, and the fellow that answered, his name was Scott Key. And just to make conversation, I said, "By any chance, are you related to Francis Scott Key, who wrote the Star Spangled Banner?" And he said, "Yes, I am." He was great, 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 whatever nephew. And I said, "Well, I'm the OG. I think I'm going to have to get the van." And we worked it out. He trailered it down since I didn't have a way to get there. And about $25,000 later, it's restored, and I take it around. And not only that, but I've got Franklin sitting in the van right now.
Does it have air conditioning?
Yeah, now it does. Now it does.
Because that's funny. I love it. So what kind of a what do you think about the whole thing just in general? Like, you're in this movie, it's a cult classic. They made 8 more of them after that. Obviously it's one of the coolest things like ever for people on the other side, but how is it for you?
I mean, it's an unbelievable privilege that after all these years, even the people that like some of these other ones, when they compare it to the original, it's like we still come out on top. And I think it's just the believability of this movie. It almost seems like it's like a documentary, or that it could really happen, you know. And uh, uh, I've told this, but my parents were retired and living in Florida, and they ended up taking an aunt and uncle to watch this movie in a porno theater. And I think it was a double feature, and the second feature was Debbie Does Dialysis. So,
Oh shit.
and my mother, during the scene where I'm walking in the house, to get whacked, my mother started screaming in her native language, which was no language. She grunted, and they almost escorted her out of the theater.
Unbelievable. All right, so you got a new film, kind of new film. I noticed it's on Tubi and Amazon Prime. It's called The Weed Hacker. I keep saying Weed Whacker. I don't know why. The Weed
No, that
Hacker.
was see, yeah, Weed Whacker was taken, so it's the Weed Hacker, and it's kind of a horror comedy, a combination of things of it's kind of pokes fun of all the sequels, that movies made. And that was the brainchild of Ray Spivey, who I met and who wrote a scene for me from his first movie, Storage Locker. And then we just hit it off, and I threw out some ideas, and he had some of his own, and that produced Weed Hacker Massacre. And the punchline is, once you stop laughing, you'll start screaming.
Oh, I love it. I wrote down cult following among indie horror fans because it mixes self-aware comedy, low-budget splatter, and a movie within a movie. Storyline, directed by Jody Stelzig, writer-producer Ray Spivey, which I also read online that you contributed some of the ideas for the film, and that you play Sheriff Danzinger's shoes, and that Parrish Randall's in it. Parrish Randall's a good friend of the show. He was, when we came on the air 18 years ago, he was one of our first guests ever, and then we had him on again last year. And
he's terrific, and he's terrific in the movies. A terrific guy, and I met him at a cult event a few years ago, and hit it off. And I love the guy, and he's brilliant in this movie.
I know, he's fun too. Just in all his movies in general, he does a really good deal. So what I want to do is play the trailer for the Weed Hacker Massacre. I want you to introduce it for us, and then hang on, we're going to play it, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, it's a fun ride, and there are two young people that are in it, Molly and David. I forget his last name, but that doesn't matter. But they're terrific in it. It's a fun movie.
Absolutely. So here it is, everybody. The Weed Hacker Massacre.
Quiet on set.
Cut! It's the name of the movie, The Weed Hacker Massacre.
Yeah, The Weed Hacker Massacre.
We are trying to finish this film, but our actors and crew keep disappearing. Some say it's because we're shooting on the same site as the gruesome murders that happened 10 years ago.
You are killing me with these bounce checks, DJ. We can't lose any more people.
I promise from now on, everyone stays. They'll have to be dragged off the set. We're not just making a movie here. We're making a profitable movie. Even if it's like every profitable movie ever made. We're doing this for the ticket-buying public and for those that share Netflix passwords. Stop the movie! Unfair pay! I'll pay you time and a half if you stay.
What do you say? Can we get 3 more good days in?
No.
Time and a half! Time and a half! Time and a half! Time and a half! You ruined my freaking movie!
So you got good distribution with Buffalo. It says Alan Danziger's The Weed Hacker movie. So you're the executive producer, maybe?
Yes.
Or something?
Yes. Yeah. You are correct, sir.
I love it. I also wrote down that you've been in a bunch of documentaries and special appearances: The American Nightmare, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Shocking Truth, Cinemassacre's Monster Madness, Texas Chainsaw 3D. I know who he is.
I'm back. I think I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I was just reiterating it all. So you're the executive producer, and you did all these. What's Moxina?
What's what?
Moxina.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I went on. It said under documentaries and special appearances, and you were. I've seen a lot of the documentaries that you've been in. But
well, yeah. There may be. I'm also in. It's called Chain Reactions, and it's a number of directors. Like Patton Oswalt and Stephen King, and how this movie influenced them. So I'm in that one. I guess I'm in some other ones that I don't even know about.
That's funny.
But Chain Reactions is a wonderful documentary. Excellent.
I love it. All right, so here's something that I like to ask people, and it's kind of different for you, I think. But as an actor, male and female actor that you would love to work with, they could be living or dead.
I mean, because I go back to way back, would be Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff. I would love to work, and I guess Vincent Price. Those would be the top 4. In that genre.
And give me a female that you would like to work with.
Wow. Let me see. I mean, I guess Elizabeth Taylor. You
Oh,
know,
there you go.
uh, and I mean, there's just of course, say Meryl Streep, but I mean that's just so out of my class, But you can dream, can't you?
Ever been in any movie that's ever been made? What movie would you like to have been in?
Gone with the Wind.
Do you really? Okay, I've seen it twice, but I don't know. It's
Or,
hard for
or
me to.
I guess, gosh, I don't know. I guess anything that Steven Spielberg does, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's got a new movie coming out this weekend.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
yeah,
good.
I've seen
Um,
it. I've seen it.
do you watch horror movies in general? Like, are you a horror movie fan in
No,
general?
no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, people ask me, "Do I know this? Do I?" I don't know any of it, and I don't know.
Because
But
you don't really watch them.
no, no. I mean, I like movies like one of my favorites would be Shawshank Redemption, or
Great movie.
Annie Hall, and stuff like that.
I know.
And a movie that's a small movie, but I can relate to it because of how the fans are. Was I think Burt Reynolds' last movie, The Last Movie Star.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
great.
that. I love that movie.
I actually went to high school in Florida, and Burt Reynolds' brother was my high school football coach, and Burt Reynolds' nephew was a really good friend of mine. So he used to come to school all the time and hang out with us. He was really cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
get to be able to do that. So I love all of that. So what do we have coming up that we can tell everybody about?
Well, I'm next month. I'll be going to the East Texas Comic Con for the first time in Longview, Texas, and it'll be like a mini reunion. John Dugan is flying down, and it'll be like a road trip. I mean, we're like the Cheech and Chong of horror right now, and so he's great. He's great to be around. I think we'll have a lot of fun, and then who knows, I mean, I'm hoping that Soul Hoarder will take off eventually, once it comes out. I hope that folks get a chance to see Weed Hacker Massacre, because the more views we get, the better. Streaming doesn't pay that well, and so
That's
we need a
right.
lot more we need a lot more people to see that movie, and it's a fun ride. And I think, and I have to give a shout out to Ray Spivey, because he took me he took me away from that mound of whatever happened to, the one hit wonders, and he brought me back. So I owe a lot. I owe a
Oh,
lot to
that's
this
so
guy.
funny. One hit wonder, like I think of that in music. I don't think about it so much in movies, but no, you're not a one hit wonder. And I think it's great. You guys, Weed Hacker Massacre is available on Tubi and Amazon Prime. Watch it on Tubi, it's free. And again, you can go to chainsawjerry.com if you want to you sell the bobbleheads there, right?
Yeah, I do, and the bobblehead is actually in the bobblehead Hall of Fame in Milwaukee. I'm up there with uh, who am I not? I'm up with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I believe, and Bernie Sanders and Albert Schweitzer, I think. So you never know what life holds out for you. Because I wish my parents were alive, because my mom was disappointed. She wanted me to become a doctor, but I came close. I became a patient.
I love it. So you guys, please follow Chainsaw Jerry on Instagram. I think that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the greatest horror movies ever made, and I am a big horror movie fan. I like all of them. I'm big into Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, all the Saw, all the different ones, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is way up there. And I want to thank you for coming on and talking with us today. I think that it's amazing what's going to happen, and I think you're going to get bigger and bigger. Actually, now that you're back, I think that more and more people are going to cast you in films, and it's going to be an amazing thing for you.
I appreciate that, and I also, another thing is, I met a young lady at Hooper's in Kingsville a year or so ago, and she's got a YouTube channel called Scream Therapy, and it's villains in therapy. And I did some podcasts with Jayla Gray where I analyzed, because of my background, Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Leatherface. I think there's some fun things you'll get out of it if you tune into Scream Therapy, Villains in Therapy. You'll enjoy it.
And it's on YouTube.
On YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
I'll watch that later today. All right,
Check it out.
thank you so much, Alan. We appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Bye bye.